If people are gonna stare at me anyway, I'm gonna give them art to look at. Hello everyone, it's Hara in Korea, and today I wanted to make a video about a recent controversy taking place on TikTok. So this happened about 2 weeks ago, so I'm a little bit late to the game, but I still wanted to make a video talking about this topic because it upset me and a lot of people. If you are unaware, the video that I'm talking about is by a Korean American content creator on TikTok. But basically what she said was, in the beginning of her video, she said, "I'm sorry to break it to you, but if you're a foreigner and you are not white, the chance that you're going to be considered pretty in Korea is extremely low." The first time I watched that video, I was extremely upset. And I watched it again because I was like, maybe I should listen to her, and maybe I took it the wrong way. So I watched it again and I still got the same feeling I got the first time I watched it. And then I saw other content creators who were not white making videos talking about this topic and how it upset them also. And another thing that upsets me is she did apologize to certain content creators who are not white, saying she didn't mean the video to come off as rude or offensive. But the thing is, she has not deleted the video and she is deleting comments criticizing her about the video. So it just seems a little strange. The reason I feel like the video made me upset is because she is one person, and it really seemed like she was trying to speak for all Korean people and tell all not white foreigners how we are gonna feel in Korea. And it just seemed crazy to me that she was trying to speak about our experiences when she doesn't know our experience, you know? It felt like she was trying to push her insecurities off on us. And the way she, started the video with, "I'm sorry to break it to you," it just seemed really rude. So I wanted to make this video to talk about how I personally feel as a Black person living in Korea. Do I feel beautiful? Do I feel ugly? Do Korean people make me feel unattractive? And do I care about the beauty standard in Korea? So before we get into this video, if you guys are not subscribed, I would greatly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. In order to reach one of my goals this year for 2025, I really need to get to 3K subscribers. So I would love if you guys could go ahead and subscribe and help me do that. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video. So to start with, one of the things I had to accept once I got to Korea is I am always going to stand out and I am never going to fit the Korean beauty standard. I had to accept that right away. It's pretty obvious why, but if you know the Korean beauty standard, then you know some of the basics are having pale skin, having a V-shaped face, having big eyes, a high nose bridge, things like that. And also being skinny is a big one too. So I knew when I got to Korea, obviously I was not gonna be the same skin color as Korean people. And that never really bothered me because growing up, I have always loved my skin color. I always thought darker skin was beautiful because I just love the color tones that can go with my skin color. I also love, in the summertime getting darker and how the colors that I wear stand out more and pop. I really genuinely love my skin color. So I have never wanted pale skin, so that never bothered me. The next thing, the V-shaped face, big eyes. I think it's really pretty on other people, but that was never important to me. The only thing I kind of felt a little self-conscious about when I got to Korea was my size. You go to the store, you try to buy pants or certain clothes, and they obviously aren't gonna fit you. So there was a time when the desire to be skinny like a lot of Korean women was at the front of my mind. But other than that, I knew I was never gonna live up to the Korean beauty standard, and I never really wanted to. So this might be something that a lot of people might not agree with, but personally, I feel more beautiful in Korea than I do in America or ever did in America. And I'm gonna explain why. First, from the ages of like 10 until now, I grew up in a town that is predominantly white. And so I always did feel like I wasn't really pretty there. And the reason being is because, in middle school and high school too, all of my friends had crushes. I saw everybody else getting a boyfriend. And if they didn't have a boyfriend, guys at least looked at them, guys talked about their beauty, guys, had something to say, they were trying to talk to certain girls, but I was never the girl that guys were trying to talk to. And I was just like, oh, once I get to college, that will change. And I went to Indiana University in Bloomington, which is a very large college and it has a wide diversity of people. But even once I got there, I started to just feel normal. I didn't really stand out. Still nobody really came up and talked to me. But yeah, I I felt normal there, but I didn't feel beautiful. It wasn't until I got to Korea when I learned that beauty is subjective, and really at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is if I find myself beautiful, you know? So when I got to Korea, I knew I was gonna be stared at, and in the beginning that was kind of hard. I've been in Korea since 2017, so for a long time. And I will say the first couple of years, you know, the staring kind of got to me, but eventually I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give these people something to stare at. I'm gonna look good. And so in Korea, a lot of the people are trying to fit the Korean beauty standard, or a lot of people don't want to stand out. So Korean people oftentimes follow a lot of trends. And so, for example, a lot of Korean people wear the same makeup trend. They have very similar hairstyles. The fashion is all very similar. There's nothing that really stands out. Most of the colors that they wear are neutral. A lot of people are not wearing like bright, bold colors because they don't want to stand out. And so when you walk out the door in Korea and you see everything is neutral colors, from the cars to the clothes to everybody has very similar hair and similar makeup styles, it is very easy to stand out, you know? And I kind of just embraced that. You know, before I came to Korea, I didn't really know what my style was, but once I got here, I started embracing like a style that a lot of Korean people wouldn't wear. You know, I started wearing more bold colors, things that some people might even consider like weird patterns, you know? I like to change up my hair color a lot, so when I have blue hair, like I really stand out. These days, it is a lot more accepted, but when I first came to Korea, you know, wearing a crop top with, you know, not thick straps, that was not very common to see here. So coming to Korea really helped me find my style, because I realized I was like, if people are gonna stare at me anyway, I'm gonna give them art to look at. And I really consider my hair and my fashion my art. And so when I go out in public and I know I look good and people are staring at me, I don't know what their intentions are for staring. You know, they might think I'm not pretty. Doesn't matter to me, because one, beauty is subjective, and two, I know I look good and I think I'm pretty. So that's what was important to me, like showing off my artwork. The second thing is, this is what I have heard from some of my Korean friends, from some of my Korean coworkers, is that Korean people have a different standard of beauty for foreigners than they do for Korean people. And some people say that's true, some people say that's not true. But I feel like in my experience that has been true. And the reason why is like, you know, I'm not skinny in Korea. I am a size US 10, and a lot of Korean people would consider that fat. There's another side of Korean people that would be like, oh, she has a foreigner body, oh, she's curvy, she has an hourglass shape. And so it really just, you know, depends a little bit on how like open-minded I guess they are, which I hate using that word because Korean men use that word in the wrong way. But yeah, being open-minded, open to new cultures, open to a different idea of beauty. Korean people can't possibly expect me to have the type of hair they have and the pale skin they have. Like when a Korean person sees me, they're not expecting to see a Korean, they're expecting to see a foreigner. And I feel like a lot of Korean people, when they're looking at me and they're looking at me through the lens of this person is a foreigner and not a Korean, I think they really can distinguish between, is this person beautiful? Like beauty is beauty. So if they think you're beautiful, like that's it. You know, it's not, oh, does she fit the Korean beauty standard of beauty? It's just, that is a beautiful person, and it's very likely that they might not have seen a person who looks like me before, right? If I go out for like a night out, you know, at the bar or club, like the younger Korean women are always coming up to me and telling me how beautiful I am, telling me how much they like my hair, telling me they like my fashion, telling me I have like a nice body shape. Like when I go out, which I don't go out that much anymore, but when I go out, like Korean women be hyping me up, you know? When I just go out in my daily life, you know, riding the subway, riding my bike, just being in the store, Korean ajumas, like middle-aged women or older women, especially older women, like in their 70s and 80s, like they come up to me and they tell me like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. Even though it could be uncomfortable at times, like coming up trying to touch my hair, like, oh my gosh, I love your hair, it's so pretty. If they see you and they think you're pretty and they're not like shy, they're gonna tell you like you're pretty because you stand out, you're a rarity. A lot of Korean people find that beautiful. When you see, you know, kind of the same beauty standard every single day, and then you see somebody who doesn't fit that mold, it's like, oh my gosh, wow. You know, so if they find you beautiful, a lot of people will say it. If you've watched my other videos, then you know I am not shy to having my heart broken multiple times by Korean men. But that does not mean when I was out on the hunt for a man that I ever felt unattractive. Some of the messages or comments comments that I would get from men could be a little like fetishizing, but for the most part, like in the beginning of meeting these men, I mean, men will tell you anything and tell you a bunch of lies. But anyway, yeah, I had a lot of men tell me I was pretty, and until they broke my heart, you know, I never felt unattractive. But yeah, one of the things that I feel like really helps me, you know, living in Korea is, like I said, I don't really care about the Korean beauty standard, but to go along with that, I don't wear makeup. So a lot of people, you know, come to Korea and they are interested in buying a lot of Korean makeup and trying to, you know, do the Korean makeup trends. I can't even do basic makeup. Like, all of my makeup is literally from Walmart or the dollar store, or the blush that I use is literally from the first time my mom bought me makeup because I was going to the prom with my friend at 17 and I asked her like, hey mom, can you pick me up like some really basic makeup from Walmart? I didn't even know how to put that makeup on back then. So I don't wear makeup, and I feel like because I'm not, you know, looking for Korean makeup trends, I'm not really paying attention to the beauty standard, right? And I'm not really focusing on the fact that Korean makeup might not be made for me. It's likely they're not gonna have my skin tone or products that are made for, you know, me. So I don't worry about that because I have never been interested in makeup. I also don't care about Korean skincare, and you know, a part of me wishes I did, because everybody always talks about Korean skincare and how amazing it is. I have no idea what they're talking about. You know, there's all these videos on TikTok and YouTube like, oh my gosh, when you come to Korea, you have to go to Olive Young. I don't go to Olive Young. The products that they're showing in those videos, I have no idea what they're even for, okay? So I don't do the makeup, I don't do the skincare. I also don't really watch Korean media, you know, other than for practicing my Korean. I don't really watch any Korean content creators. I don't watch Korean beauty content creators, you know? So I am not putting myself in a situation to be like, oh my gosh, I would love to try this Korean beauty brand, but it's not made for me. Like, it's cool if you do that, but I'm saying I don't do that. So it kind of, you know, takes me away from potentially being disappointed if I find a product I want to try, but it doesn't work for me, you know? So one of the reasons I did want to make this video is just for any foreigner who might come to Korea, you know, who hasn't been to Korea before. It could be your first time coming to Korea and you are not white, or even if you are white. But in her video, she specifically mentioned not white people are probably not going to be pretty. And I'm not a white person, right? So if you are also not a white person and you've never been to Korea before, and after seeing her video, or even if you didn't watch her video and you're just feeling nervous, like, oh my gosh, are Korean people gonna find me pretty? The answer is yes, Korean people are gonna find you pretty. Now, every single Korean person is not gonna find you pretty. That is 100% true. Some Korean people are gonna be racist, you know? Some people are not gonna like darker skin. That's fine. Those people's opinion does not matter. And don't let those few bad apples discourage you, because there are so many people in Korea who are gonna find you pretty, you know? They're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I've never seen somebody who looks like that before, and they are beautiful, you know? And again, if they are not shy, they might even come up and tell you how beautiful you are. So somebody might not find you beautiful, but somebody else will. And the people who find you beautiful in Korea, they realize like how special you are and how rare your beauty is in Korea. And to me, that's just beautiful in itself. Like, just to be a different form of beauty in Korea, I find that really special. So yeah, to wrap up this video, I hope it isn't too long or boring. I do not think that the video that content creator made on TikTok is true. Some people in her comments were agreeing with her. She is deleting the comments that do not agree with her, but you can go search on TikTok and find a lot of non-white content creators making similar videos to mine. And they're gonna tell you that beautiful is beautiful, and just be confident, you know, just be yourself. But yeah, people will stare at you sometimes. There will be racist people. You are going to stand out, but standing out can be beautiful. And in my own personal case, like I said, I like to give people an art show to look at when I go out in public. So yeah, just be confident, just be yourself, and don't be worried about coming to Korea. The people who don't find you beautiful, they're not your type anyway. The people who do, they're gonna know you're special. But yeah, I have rambled enough on this video. I actually have another video to make. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know what you thought about this video in the comment section down below. If you live in Korea, whether you are white or not white, let me know about how you feel about the Korean beauty standard. Like, do you feel affected by it greatly? If you are coming to Korea and you haven't been here before, like, are you nervous about the Korean beauty standard? You know, like, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts about that in the comment section down below. Please make sure to give this video a like, and if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and do that, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.